Hotep, and welcome to Matters of Diversity with Dr. B. It is really a great time of the month to be with you all today and to kind of share with you all some of the things that are just happening because of the fact that it's Pride Month. Today, I have a very special guest. This person has always been there for me, has always spoken her truth, has always given me the opportunity to kind of see her for who she is, and I'm really excited to have an opportunity to talk with her today. Today's guest is, as you have already seen in our promo, is Andrea Snead. And Andrea has been a professional and advocate of equity, diversity, and inclusion for over 20 years and has proudly served 9 of those as a spirited and gifted facilitator. We'll talk a little bit about that because she is a gifted facilitator. She began her career facilitating and educating on EDI at the University of Central Florida's UCF Recreation and Wellness Center. In her role as a facilities and aquatics, listen to me, coordinator. During her time at the RWC, she has had the opportunity to serve in different leadership roles, including outdoor adventure coordinator, sports club coordinator, inclusive recreation coordinator, and how many other coordinators do they have in this place? And most recently as assistant director of the sports club, inclusive recreation, and risk management. In each role, her transformational leadership style has infused with an EDI focus and understanding for her student-centered teams, and that even today continues to permeate throughout the Recreation Center. In her role, Andrea spearheaded the inclusion of gaming and adaptive clubs to broaden aspects of diversity within sports clubs, which includes the first collegiate wheelchair tennis team in Florida. So you see what we talk about when we talk about inclusive? That's how you include. You start to think outside the box. She serves as chair of the RWC's Diversity Committee, a member of the UCF Police Department's Chief Advisory Council, and is a team lead for the university's Bias Incident Group on campus, the Just Nice Response Team. Andrea is a champion of EDI within her professional association, NIRSA, which is NIRSA, and currently serves as the board of directors and on the board of directors. So this woman is doing it all, okay? She's not taking any time off. So you're going to want to hear her today. And was previously a vital team member for the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Commission, which created a diversity reference manual for association members, complete with educational tools and case studies. Her philosophy of meeting people where they are has been the driving force behind the feeling participants leave with after attending sessions facilitated by Andrea. She is dynamic, engaging, and honest in dialogue while allowing space for individuals to utilize bravery in their truth. Andrea and her wife, Laura, are proud to have a loud household complete with 3 boys and 3 fur babies. Why do they call them fur babies? Jalen, Jordan, RJ, Tony, Nippy, and Jackson. We have to figure out which of those 3 are the boys and which are the fur babies. She holds 2 associate degrees, a bachelor's degree in business, and a master's degree in interdisciplinary studies with focus on project management and social justice. This fall, Andrea will begin the adventure that is her doctoral degree in sociology, and when she is not reading, spending her free time watching sports and singing karaoke. So we're going to get her to sing today. How's that? Andrea, come on in. How are you? What's going on? That's a great bio, by the way. How you doing?
Dr. B, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm just sitting here waiting for the tunes to start. What's your
No tunes, but I will say that intro, little shafty,
little shafty? What? We
little
try.
shaft. It was a little. I heard a little shaft in there. It sounds a little.
Oh, okay.
Then you come in, I see you with the dashiki. I'm getting shaft vibes. I'm getting
See,
shaft
there
vibes.
you go. There you go. So, can you tell me a little bit about what this karaoke is all about?
Ah,
What songs? What's your go to? What's your go
Uh,
to?
so I have different go-to songs. You know, you have to really feel out the environment when you're doing karaoke, right? So I've got several go-to songs, but I would probably say my top two go-to songs is one "Killing Me Softly," but the Fugees rendition
The
of
Fuji
"Killing Me
rendition.
Softly." Yeah,
Okay.
the Fugees rendition, and then because you know you got to hit that Lauren
One
Hill note.
time.
Yeah, you got to hit the Lauren Hill note in there too. So, and then I would say my other go-to song, believe it or not, is "Wanted Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi.
Why do you think believe it or not?
Because a lot of folks wouldn't think I would belt that song out, or I would enjoy singing that song. So, fun fact: sang that song on a cruise.
What's the first verse of that? How's it go?
You know,
How's the
Google it.
Oh wow, you gonna play it
You're
that?
slick. You're not slick, Doctor B.
No,
You're not
no,
slick.
no, no. You don't have to sing it. I just said, what's the first verse? I just want to remember, wanted dead or alive. I just want to remember. I know the song. I just want to make sure I know the.
It starts off. It's all the same. Only the names will change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard the
Wanted
melody.
dead or alive, right? Yeah, you think you're slick. You're not gonna be
I heard the melody in there. I did
a
hear.
little bit. It was look. It was hard. It was hard not to actually
It
sing
was melodic. It was good. It was good.
it.
So here we are, smack dab in the middle of Pride Month, and I have a good opportunity to talk with you. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit about what Pride Month means to you, and how individuals should come to meet this month?
Yeah, so it's interesting having been someone that came out at an older age. I mean, I
Mhm.
was in my late 20s when I came out officially, and do the undercover thing and for a while, and you realize, yeah, I'm not really living my truth. But as you come out at an older age, you're not really fully out until, in my opinion, until you're really out at work. And I can honestly say I really wasn't even out at work until I got here to UCF. So I think really Pride Month for me is it's really just a nostalgic feeling that I get thinking about just how long that process was for me, and really celebrating the fact that not very many there's still people out there, of course, who feel like they need to be in the closet, but really it's a time for me to celebrate the fact that there are kids and individuals that are able to come out sooner and really able to live their truth.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the terminology of coming out? Why those? Why do you think those word choices were kind of given to this I guess metamorphosis, this
Yeah.
evolution?
What's interesting, I think about that often, Dr. B, and I wonder that same exact thing, because it's not usually when you say coming out, it's all right, I'm out and I'm here and that's it. But that's not the case, right? Coming out is a constant process sometimes for some people in the community. So I always find it interesting to say, okay, yeah, I came out. Yeah, but you're constantly coming out sometimes over and over and over. And
And it's
it gets a
tactic.
little, yeah, it gets a little exhausting sometimes, but I think of it more as a door that you keep having to walk through, and you're just walking into different doors and you're coming out of different doors. That's how I look at it now. And you're when you walk into a house, there's multiple doors in that house. So you're coming out of this door. Okay, now I have to go and walk out of that door. And that's how sometimes I feel like the coming out process is sometimes. So, as soon as you were reading my bio, I forgot that at the end I list, okay, Andrea has a wife and Andrea has kids, and now you get the juices going in some people's heads of, oh, Andrea is gay, oh, Andrea has a wife, oh, Andrea has kids, oh, Andrea has fur babies. So it's a constant
Yeah.
process sometimes. So literally just came out in front of everyone that will be watching this as well.
Yeah.
So it's a constant process.
I understand, and thank you for sharing who you are. You've always been very open with me as to who you are. When you think about that, there are a lot of people who say that they come out when they feel completely that they've come out when certain people in their life are exposed or understand or know. And then they can say that I can cut it off now. I don't feel like I'm constantly going through different doors anymore. The people who I wanted to know who support me and who love me and or not,
Yeah,
right? Those people are now. I can go on. I can be free now because those are the people who mattered. Is that kind of also part of that equation?
I applaud those people. I don't feel that way, and I think that's what makes this so great is not everyone is the same, and not everyone's process is the same. So usually I tend to talk to people when I do any kind of training or anything from an LGBTQ plus perspective. It's making sure that individuals who are in that room that are learning these things know that not everyone is the same,
Right.
knows that not everyone's process is going to look the same. So
Mhm.
you can't, there isn't a cookie cutter response to that. That's why, I tend to start with, well, how it is for me, how it is for me, how it is for my friend or this friend I know, because not everyone has the same process. So for me, it isn't that way, but I do know people where as soon as they told those key individuals in their life, they really didn't care who knew
Didn't turn
after that.
back anymore at that point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So Pride Month has a lot of activities that have gone on. Just this past weekend, there was an event. There are many events that kind of help to kind of, I guess, memorialize. I'm saying the word wrong now, but somehow to kind of make sure that people understood and remembered. I guess maybe that's the best word. Remembered the Pulse tragedy of 5 years ago. And can you talk a little bit about how you spent that time, or what was going on for you over the course of this weekend?
Yeah, so I did attend, like I have every year, the UCF Remembrance. Attended the first one, remember vividly, and attended the one this past week, and had the opportunity to be a part of the ceremony of the names being read, which I think I was good up until immediately the names were read, and then that's when it all hit me, and it hits at different times. I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, and everything, because Pulse was certainly a place that I frequented, me and some many of my friends. So uh, it's so that's what I'll tend to do, and reflect and remember, and it's
Yeah,
not just a one day thing for me. It's a constant reminder
yeah.
usually
Mhm.
for that. So that's what I spent, and then on the actual day I was able to spend time with friends on that day.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. You spent time at Pulse when it was a thriving nightclub. Um, were there people that you were aware of who died that day?
um so know of a couple.
And we won't have to stay there. I don't want to get you
Yeah,
to that point, but I just wanted to know. Um, I want people to know that that's the 6 degrees of separation. That's the thing that happens when these types of things happen, whether it is a school shooting or whether it's something that happened in a gay nightclub, that people are affected by the things that have gone on. And so I don't want this to be a solemn show, so I want to talk about a whole lot of different things. But I thank you for sharing that. And I think just that little tidbit right there lets people know what you just shared about there's so much that you don't know about people,
yeah,
and every day that you're learning more and more, and they're able to expose you to different things, and hopefully the things that they're exposing you to help you to kind of think and reflect and recognize that maybe I need to look at things a little bit differently when it comes to people, whether they're black and brown, they're gay, transgender, or whatever. That I need to really take that into consideration when I go out and treat people who look or act or have different intersectionalities different than I would want myself being treated. If
what I
that,
what I will share about that time is, especially last week during the remembrance,
Mhm.
many people spoke about the outpouring and the support that came from the city of Orlando.
Yeah.
And I can attest to the outpouring of support around the world, and around the country, because I actually went at the time when that happened. My wife was living in San Francisco, with her for her job, and I went out and visited her 2 weeks later, for her birthday, and so we were apart when it happened, but I had the opportunity to be with her 2 weeks later, and we happened to be in San Francisco, where I did not know this, but they have many Pride parades during Pride Month, and I got the opportunity to be a part of one of those Pride parades because I knew someone at San Francisco State who invited me and my wife to march along with them. Um, just the Orlando strong buttons that they all had. I mean, this is San Francisco,
Yeah.
and the signs. And as I was walking, it was so emotional to see just the support and the care, in the love, right? And we walked down some of the streets, and one of the streets I'll never forget, in front of this Bank of America, and it was just flooded with roses and notes and photos of the victims, and I'm standing here and I'm saying, this happened in my town. This happened at a place where I, I frequented, and now I'm in this whole different city on the other part of the country, and they're showing such incredible love and support. So I felt the arms of the city of San Francisco around me at that time, and it's so interesting to say that as I'm even saying it, I can see myself in those moments
Yeah.
and at that time in San Francisco. And I don't think I could have scripted that better. I mean, my flight and everything was already booked well before this even happened. And
Right.
it couldn't have happened at a that trip couldn't have happened at
That experience, that whole experience is something that helped you to kind of even maybe heal some with regard to
not necessarily heal, but it comforted me.
the comfort.
It comforted me at that time, um, even though it was still just, again, this ongoing,
Mhm.
grieving process. But
Right.
it was what I needed at that time, and
Right.
I'm glad that I was there.
So the outpouring that came from the community, uh, is it still going? Did it stop? Do you know a pinpoint when it may have stopped? Or how do you see people really responding to not just the Orlando tragedy, but just gay people in general? Have when I think about Black Lives Matter, I think one of the things that happened this past year is people woke up, so to speak. Do you think that when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, that people are waking up?
So it's very difficult for me to talk about one part of my identity and not fold it into the other two parts of my identity, right? I identify as a Black gay woman. So it's
Hmm.
very difficult for me to separate those from an
Right,
intersectionality perspective.
right.
But I, having having a three-time minoritized kind of identity, right? It's difficult for me to separate those sometimes. And I think some people like to ask me this question. They say, well, what do you think about the gay piece? And it's tough for me to relate to that because I say, okay, maybe a
Because
gay white woman is more accepted, but what about a gay trans woman,
hmm
Black trans woman, right? So it that's a different plight. That individual who could be a gay a Black trans woman could have a completely different experience than a white gay man or a white gay woman, right? Because of the different minoritized, intersectionalities on top of that. So that's a very difficult question to answer because you do have to go through and break it down
break it
to
down.
those levels.
Right, because privilege and marginalization and oppression all kind of fit into what that looks like.
Yep.
Thanks. I think that's really an honest response to that type of a question because I think there are people who are hoping, there are people who are praying that that change has happened and that people are going to move forward. And then you get some of the things that have happened over the past year that tell you maybe we haven't moved along as far as we thought we have.
Right, right. I mean, and it, it's interesting again, you go back to Pulse. What's what's not talked about, I feel, enough is the fact that we this was Latin night, right? It was Latin night. So you when you hear the names read, it's tough not to think about that intersectionality piece as
Right.
well. So this wasn't just an attack on the gay community, this was an attack on the Hispanic gay community.
Yeah, I just had a guest, and one of my former doc students who spoke exactly to that, and that that is something that's forgotten, right? That we went immediately to the gay experience and not to the fact that this was hurting a community of individuals
Yeah.
that was much larger, and what was going on that evening at the Post nightclub. So thank
And
you.
the fact that not even everyone there that is part of that beautiful 49 souls were even gay, right? So are we talking about all of that, so that's a very difficult question to answer, and I applaud anyone who wants to take a stab at that. But me, as a Black gay woman,
Mhm.
it is very difficult for me to say, yes, we made strides. Yes, we made strides. Yes, there's strides made. But when you break that down, who has benefited from the strides that have been made is now where you really need to take that, the second part of that question.
Right. That's a phenomenal response. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. So let's turn the corner on this and just talk about you and talk about some of the great things that you've been doing over in the RSWC. There's a lot that you brought to the table, just being given a job here at UCF. And can you talk about what that has been like? How have people responded? And I mean, and I love the idea that you brought forth with the wheelchair challenge. Can you talk a little bit about that and how your presence on our campus has kind of supported sports from a different perspective, different worldview?
Yeah, so I think I can't talk about what I bring without talking about the fact that I've been given the opportunity to do these things, right? Because I can come in and say all day, hey, I want to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
And someone is going to be there to say, nope, you can't do this, nope, you can't do this, nope, you can't do this. And luckily I've benefited from the fact that I've had supervisors that have not said, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do this. And what I see is, all right, make it happen. Or what I get is, well, how are you going to do this? Well, think about this, but go ahead. So I have to give a major shout out to every supervisor that I've had, because they haven't I don't like to necessarily say they haven't held me back, but they have always supported the different things that either myself, my students, friends, an idea that I get from other university, and put our own spin on it, go off and partner with other people within our university, within our division. So I it, I don't think that I can take the credit for that. I think that while I may have this idea or this idea, and sometimes my ideas have been pretty radical, um, I think I just look at it as, wow, we talk about UCF being the university that has built itself off opportunity and we're innovative. Well, it's me just pushing the envelope and saying, hey, how can we continue to push this? And I think that we've created a culture at the RWC where all of us want that kind of innovative approach to recreation and fitness, and we want people to feel comfortable coming here, and we want people to enjoy themselves when they come here, and not just this segment of the student population or this segment, we want all segments. We want all students to come to the RWC and feel comfortable. So the way you do that is you provide different programs, you provide different opportunities for students, such as students in wheelchairs who may want to compete at the highest levels, just like some of our students who are able-bodied to compete. So why would we not make those opportunities? That's what I get. Like, why not? Why would we not do that?
Why do we not do that? So,
Right.
I mean, what made you really want to put that into operation, though? What was happening in your life at that point in time when you said, you know what, we need to do this, and what? How did that all come about?
So in 2014, I believe I was put in charge of our adaptive recreation program. And when we brought the IES program on campus was when we really transformed it into not just saying adaptive, but also inclusive. Because now when you're using the word inclusive, you can incorporate so many other different things like the esports and things like that, right? But when you say adaptive, you're really only focused on one subgroup population of students, and that's students that may have disabilities, right? So when you say inclusive, now you can encompass so many more people. So that was really the first thing, and I knew that we could do so many different things. I mean, who does not want to come to this university and be a part of this university? We're in Florida, we're in the central part of the state. I mean, we have Disney down the street, right? So the next thing is just really building on the programs that we had and thinking outside of the box of what are some of those programs that we can bring here that aren't happening in Florida. I'm an extremely competitive person, and while I love all my colleagues around the state in their recreation departments, I want our department to be the best recreation department, not just in the state of Florida, not just in our region, but also in the country, right? Within our
Yeah,
nurse association. So I
yeah,
think a lot of it is just driven from competition, and not that I don't share. And I think that that's one thing that I do feel makes me a little bit more unique is while I want to be the best, I also want to take whatever blueprint we have here and spread the love around, because the more we are able to do more from an adaptive and inclusive perspective in our state or in our university, that can spread to the city, that could spread to the state, and then that can spread to the country. So now what we're doing is we're not just providing opportunities just in Orlando, we're now providing opportunities all across the state
right.
for these kids that are coming up in these wheelchair programs. And once they get to the wheelchair program in youth, there's programs there, but then it stops. Where are the collegiate programs? There's, I believe, 11 programs around the country, Dr. B,
Yeah.
for competitive athletics for on a collegiate adaptive and a wheelchair perspective. And I think that's absurd to me, honestly. So why would there not be more universities that are doing this? So
Yeah, and people need to also participate and support and recognize what that participation and support looks like,
mhm.
and not in such a way where people are, oh, good for you.
Yeah. Oh, you're such an inspiration. And
Yeah, and
well, yeah, not only from that perspective.
right. I've talked to so many people who have disabilities who are like, that's like you're placating me, or you're not necessarily seeing me as I'm able.
Yep.
So you don't have to give me this like I'm special because I have a disability and I'm doing this. See me for who I am and that I'm able to do this. And
Show me I'm special because I just beat this person in straight sets on the tennis court. You know what I mean? Tell me I'm special for that way. And I
right.
think I get on my soapbox and
It's about
give.
right how you express yourself to an individual who may in your eyes be seen as a person with a disability, and
Exactly.
it really makes a difference, and they receive it differently too when you give it to them genuinely, because you say you did a great job, you're an outstanding athlete, you did
Yeah.
what you had to do, and not you did that, and oh, look, isn't that nice that you did that and you have this disability.
Yes.
That's the problem.
And I think the way I have been able to come at it, and how we've been able to really spread the word here at the rec center is we look at it from a different approach of, if we can get everyone who would not be considered an adaptive athlete to get in the chair and participate in our 2v2 wheelchair basketball intramurals, participate in our sitting volleyball intramurals, participate in beat baseball and goal ball, and participate in all of these different adaptive and inclusive sports that we have, unified sports, flag football and basketball, for that. If they participate, then maybe they'll feel a little bit differently, and they'll feel kind of how we were talking about, Dr. B. And so I don't know if very many programs in campus rec really think of it that way, but that's been really our philosophy, and something that I know I have wanted to continue to drive. If we can get our students on campus to watch what we have going on. And that's why I put it in we've got our four courts, and then we've got our MAC gym courts, and our MAC gym courts are kind of, off to the side, and it's a four walls, whereas our four courts in the middle of the rec center are open. So I want all of our adaptive and inclusive programming that's indoors to be on those open courts, because you've got people walking by, and
Yeah.
that's strategic. It's strategic. We want it there. We want it to be out in the open, because if people see people sitting on the ground and playing volleyball, you get the, hey, what's this? What's going on? And then when we have the Orlando Magic Wheels, who I literally just talked to them yesterday. We had a good conversation with some of them, and they're going to be starting back up here soon. And when we have the Orlando Magic Wheels coming in here and doing a clinic for our students, when we have the Orange County Clash, the wheelchair rugby team that's local, come in here and show our students how to play wheelchair rugby, and they get in, and then you watch how some of them are standing up out of the chairs and some of them are not standing up out of the chairs. It's just a really powerful moment where you now are really truly being inclusive, and we've got sport wheelchairs here for people to learn and participate in our programming. And it took us time to build up to that point, but I feel as though we're here, and we want to continue that programming.
Yeah, I sense your energy with that. I mean, it
Yeah,
must be a part of the love that you have for sport that even comes to be when you talk about it. You can see
yeah.
how you kind of brighten up when you talk about that.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you.
so UCF has been an interesting ride for you because you've
Yeah.
seen different positions throughout the time that you've been here. You were able to kind of evolve and get into some other things. And you've been here now how many years now?
11 years, actually. I call it my 6 month hiatus or 8 month hiatus, really, where we moved to California for a little bit, and then we had some family things go on, and I moved back. But overall, it's been 11 years.
Okay,
11
all right.
11 good years, Dr. B.
11 good years.
Yeah.
11 good years. And so these good years are now turning into you getting your PhD.
Never thought it would happen. I never thought I'd get my master's degree, but here we are, right?
Here we are. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Sociology, I maybe chose another field for you, but sociology, okay, we go with that.
What would you have chosen? What would you have chosen for me, Dr. B?
Maybe counseling, maybe something in sports fitness.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, no, I'm glad you chose the role that you wrote. I mean, I'm never going to step in anyone's way when it comes to them finding their pathway towards education. But you have um, an
All the bias, Dr.
opportunity
B.
right
All
now.
the
You
bias.
have a very strong opportunity right now to get your doctorate. And what sparked that?
Um, uh, mm. So in 2016 was a terrible, terrible year for me and my family. In
Mhm.
February, my niece passed away from leukemia, and then Pulse happened 4 months later, and then 4 months after that, my brother passed away, who was my niece's dad. Um, at that time, I was in the middle of doing my master's degree, and I was going to
Mhm.
quit school.
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it anymore. Just nothing mattered, and
Right.
I was just really in a dark way. And I was just reminded of when my niece was going through remission at one point, and she got a chance to go to school. And it was almost like, and it seems a little cliche, but her face popped into my head at one point, and the face was her when I asked her one day, how did school go when she was in school? And she loved it. She loved school. So I kind of said, I need to finish this degree, right? So I finished my master's degree, and I didn't want to stop there. No one else in my family has their PhD. Um, and I wanted to keep going. And it sounds, again, it sounds super cliche, but I wanted to keep going for my niece and my brother, and my brother was very proud of me, and he didn't, go to college or anything like that, but he always used to call me his big little sister, right? Because I was taller than my brother, and he would
Yeah.
always call me his big little sister. And I actually have a note that he wrote me here in my office, and I keep it with a picture of him and a picture of my niece in here. And I it keeps me going, it keeps me driving, it keeps me knowing, okay, no, you need to keep going. Don't settle. It's kind of my way of saying don't settle for less than what I know I can do. And I fell in love with research during all this time, and I don't like to get that out there, because then
Nah.
the assessment folks will start.
Hey, you didn't hear that,
The
Professor.
assessment folks will come after you really quick. Go, oh, you like
Well, you're
research?
gonna
And I'm
have to
like,
research. You're gonna have to research, and in order to get that degree, you're gonna have to do some research. So
right. And I really fell in love with it, and I couldn't run away from my love of diversity and inclusion anymore. And I said, I just need to go ahead and do it. And I wanted more. I don't want to end with just being, the assistant director at the University of Central Florida. I want more,
okay.
and I want to be able to impact more people. And I think that the way to do that is to continue to strive to for that degree.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a very unselfish approach to. It's really funny. I mean, I don't have everything that you've gone through, but I when I got my degree, I was the only one in my mother's side of the family and my father's side of the family to have a PhD.
Yeah,
And that's changed since. I have a cousin who's older than I am, and just got her degree,
nice.
PhD, last year, and and so you set a precedent, right? You also tell your family that this is obtainable. This is something you can do, and the fact that there are so few persons of color who have this degree, and you send a message, and so it's great that you had that motivation. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, there's a lot coming from you with regards to your life, and the things that you have let people in on, right?
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to what you said, it coming out every single day. So people know that getting a PhD has meaning. This is not just so that I can be called doctor. There's a meaning behind why people pursue this degree. And it's not just for a title. It's really because what you can do with it to move yourself and elevate others, to reach back and get other people to kind of follow in your footsteps. So I appreciate that.
I mean, I know I told this, great story, but it also could be that I just want to be called Dr. Dre. I mean, it could be that
Oh,
too. So,
Dr. Dre. Andrea.
Dr. Dre,
Dr. Dre. Dr.
the real Dr. Dre, right?
It's
So
okay. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm Dr. B, so you
there
might
it is.
everybody needs their thing, right? My wife is Dr. S, so you can't have that one. You can't have
No, it'll be Dr. Dre. I think that's what
Dr.
I've already told my family that they're gonna have to call me Dr. Dre, and I'm just gonna walk around with my Beats headphones on all day.
Oh wow.
My Beats
Yo,
headphones.
and have you ever met Dr. Dre?
No. Why, Dr. B?
That'd be really
What
cool.
opportunity would I have had to meet
Who
Dr. Dre?
knows? You
I
never,
mean, if
you
he wants
never.
to offer me a recording contract,
I think
we
it would
can
be
do
really
that.
cool if you ever meet him and say, I'm the real Dr. Dre.
I mean, I don't. I'd be a little nervous to say that to Uncle Jack. I do it after he offers me a recording contract. I'll
Ooh,
sign the.
like
I'll sign the
karaoke.
death row
Yeah, I
letter.
know it all come back to karaoke. I knew it
Oh,
was
it always comes out.
back to karaoke. Again, what's that? What's that song again? What's that song? Come on, give me some Bon Jovi. Some Bon
All right.
Jovi.
It's all the same. That's all I got. Every day. That's it. That Dr. B, wait.
No, no,
Ain't
no.
that kind of jam?
It was just, it was. I mean, it was for me because I was listening. I tell you, it was the melodic
Just a
nature of
little bit. Just
it. It
a
was
little.
just,
Oh man.
you put a little soul in there. A little soul.
And I think that's what's so funny about it. That I mean, you got to put your own little spin on it a little
Yeah.
bit too.
You
So
got some runs. You do little runs.
I'm not really a big runs person. I've got I think a big voice, so I don't do a lot of runs. You can only really do those runs when you're singing like a Boys to Men song. It's
Oh,
better at those.
okay.
So,
All
so,
right,
so
all right. You said you're getting
yeah.
better at those. Is that what you said?
What?
I heard. No, I heard you say if you do a boys and men song, and I'm getting better at that. So I thought that you were
That is
practicing.
not what I said. That is not at
Man,
all.
I misheard you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Honestly, I was looking for
When is UCF karaoke? That's what I want to know.
really. See that? Look, that you are. Look, RWC karaoke night.
Oh man. Well,
You know, you
some of us
working
do
out, and you got
karaoke
somebody on the mic singing some songs. You got to make sure you got some good vocals in there. But you can't get a good workout with somebody screeching. So you might
uh,
you might want to do something. Hey, if it comes.
karaoke for me is a release though, Dr. B.
Okay.
I used to play tackle football, and that was really a huge release for me. And
Okay.
I used to always tell people I used to get to beat people up and not get in trouble for it, right?
There you go.
So
There you
that
go.
used to be a big release for me. And I feel like sometimes when I'm doing karaoke and I'm up there and my friends are out there and I see them, it's just kind of a I'm in a different zone. I'm in a
So,
different
are you under any influence, or are you just straight out? Like, are you walk into a karaoke bar and go up to or do you need to have something to help you move? Oh, see, you just
I
said,
don't need courage. I don't
I don't need no encouragement. I'm just going to go up to my
I'm
song.
usually the first one to walk up. Oh, the guys here. All right, here are all my songs.
They're all of my songs. My song is My Way.
Which one? By Usher?
Oh, please, no. By Frank Sinatra. Come on now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Dr. B.
I'm not doing nothing. Oh, no, no.
You made me. What about you?
I did not make you do a thing.
What about a little Louis Armstrong? I could maybe
Yeah,
see little Louis Armstrong, little wonderful world up in there.
yeah, that's a good one. Oh, you trying to you thought you could get me to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, come on, you got this.
What's that though? So it's all good. It's all good.
No, I appreciate you, Dr. B. It's I think part of the reason why I don't mind sharing things about me and my story and just other things, I think it's what makes me a better facilitator.
Okay.
It makes because every time it never fails. Every time I walk into a room to facilitate, there's always the nerves, right? I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking, oh, is something I say going to stick? While it always, I know a lot of people might think there's no need to get nervous before everything, before every time. There's
Yeah.
always that nervous energy for me in the very beginning. But for me, I tend to use it and channel it. And I drop a joke in the very beginning. And then when I see a little bit of laughter, that helps a little bit. But only it it helps because if I can share one or two tidbits about myself. Like I started in aquatics when I got into campus rec, and there's the big stereotype that Black people can't swim, right? So I talk about that. I talk about the struggles in that and the things that I went through and how I was in my head about that. And it sometimes it gets people to open up. So I think that piece is really important for me to be able to share those things. And I don't share those things to try to put myself on any kind of pedestal. It really is to make other people feel comfortable
Yeah.
around me because for some reason for a really long time diversity was a dirty word, privilege was a dirty word. Privilege still, people think of it as this dirty evil kind of word, and it's not like that. And that's why my facilitation style and things I say and how I say it are a little bit different, and I'm extremely comfortable doing that, and I'm okay with sharing those things because at the end of the day, even if their only nugget that they're walking out of my sessions with, the only nugget they walk away with is, wow, this lady's funny, or she's relatable, or I want to talk to her, or I want to go karaoke with her, right? I
Yeah,
it, it it makes me open up.
we gotta figure out some way to go and let me listen to you sing somewhere.
That
Uh,
works. That
so,
works.
so I hear you're one of the best swim instructors out there. Out there,
Oh man, now
what's
we're
what's your claim to fame there? How did you become so gifted in that area?
because I didn't know how to swim until I was 24 years old. That was the key for me, and
Uh
it
huh.
became a mission for me to want kids to learn how to swim.
Okay.
And my sweet spot age is from 4 to 7, but
Dang, I missed
I
it.
love the younger ones.
You
Yeah,
know,
I don't like teaching adults. Doctor B, you don't know
okay.
how to swim? Mm-mm.
What? No, I can swim.
Adults are the toughest to teach because they already have in their mind that they can't do it. So
Oh,
I know I was terrifying to teach for some of my students who taught me, but
yeah.
it's because you're already in your own head, right? But for kids, they can kind of let go, and yeah, they scream, and that's okay. And
Mhm.
but some of the people that I've been the closest to are my swim kids' parents, because they see this huge woman coming out there, hey, and I'm just talking with the kids, and I I treat the kids like they're, not that parents don't treat kids like they're human beings, and I do, no singing of the alphabet to adults, but not that parents, I think, don't treat their kids like humans, but I I treat them like they're young adults, honestly, in the water, with the exception of a little wheels on the bus singing, but you you've got to make them feel comfortable. It all goes back to the comfortability piece, right? Because if those kids are in the water with me and they're terrified, I have to do something to break down the barriers. And I tend to use humor. I use my sternness, right? Because you want them to learn, but you also want them to learn the safety
Yeah.
aspects of it. So I think that that's a lot of the reason why the parents enjoy the way I teach the kids, because I add the sternness that they want. I add in the humor and the fun, and I also don't mind kids screaming in my face.
So let me ask you a question. Do you sometimes feel that when you use humor that you're also maybe I don't know. Sometimes using people use humor, especially black folks, use humor to kind of cool the waters, so to speak, and help people kind of feel comfortable. Do you feel like you use humor just as you stated? I mean, there's so many different ways, right?
Yeah, I think there definitely are ways where you can use the humor, and it's to really put up that wall, and to kind of make other people feel comfortable. And I do that, but I don't do it in the way of, oh yeah, I want to be the big jokester. I do it in the way of, because what I'm saying are real stories.
Right.
I can't. They're
Yeah.
real stories. I'm sharing these real
Right.
things,
And
but
there's a difference between being minstrel and
yes,
being funny.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And I don't want to be a jester, right? I'm not out there, trying to make everyone laugh.
Diving.
Yeah, I'm not being a jester.
Yeah.
I'm using humor in a very intentional way
There you go.
to get people to relate to
Nice.
me,
Yeah.
and feel comfortable and brave to share.
Yeah. So swimming, yeah, and you didn't learn until you was 24.
24 years old.
And wow,
They shout out to Daytona State. My friends over there. I got a job. I played basketball there, and they ended up hiring me to oversee the lifeguards. And I didn't know how to swim, and I had 6 months to keep my job. In 6 months, I had to learn how to swim and also get my lifeguard certification.
wow.
Yeah. So when people found out that I had my lifeguard and my lifeguard instructor certification, I
Mhm.
tell them, no. They said, "Oh, well, where did you swim?" I said, I wasn't a swimmer. I was a lifesaver. That's two different
Two
things.
different things. There you
That
go.
is two different things. I could swim enough for fitness, and I could swim enough to get over there, get down in the bottom, and get that person out. But
Uh,
I am not a swimmer.
So what they say, know your role, know your
Yeah,
lane.
I know my role. I know my role, and I enjoyed it. It got me here to
Yeah,
UCF, so it was it served me well. I enjoy it, and I still to this day teach swim lessons.
good, 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 good. That's excellent. That's really
Yeah.
wonderful. So tell me a little bit about the three boys and the three fur babies. I got only reason why I'm asking is because I need to know which ones are the boys and which ones. I'm only one I can pick out as might be, and it could be Nipsey, it could be Nippy, but I think Nippy is a fur baby. But it could be
Nippy is
we got Nipsey Russell.
no, oh, not even close. That is Nippy is named after Whitney Houston. That was Whitney
Ah,
Houston's nickname. So Nippy's name. I'm a massive Whitney Houston fan. Both my wife and I are, and I
my
mean,
daughter is actually a massive. She's 9 years old and she can sing every single Whitney Houston song. I'm looking at her and I'm like, wait a minute,
yes,
well, not that verse, baby, not that verse, but
she knows excellence when she hears it, Doctor B. That's the
well,
thing.
that's because of my wife, but yeah.
It's our obsession with Whitney Houston is a little unhealthy. I'm not gonna lie, but we yeah, that she's named after Whitney Houston, and Tony and Jackson are both our other two fur babies.
I figured the last three were probably so Jackson. What Jackson? The significance of Jackson because Jackson is Jaxon.
Correct, correct. So I liked the name Denver for the dog, and then I think it was our oldest, Jalen, liked the name Jackson. And the consensus, I think we actually voted as a family what his first name would be. So that Jackson actually is the only one of the two fur babies that has a middle name. So his name's Jackson Denver Snead.
Oh wow! Look at y'all! Look at y'all!
I know we're a little special in our home.
I wouldn't say that. You said that. I didn't say that.
We,
So
it's okay. All
um,
right.
I'm just messing with you. And so, okay, so if Nippy is your go-to, how come Nippy not one of your top songs?
Because I have too much respect for that woman.
Woo!
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I,
Cannot do it. I still have never. Maybe one. I have one time but that was when someone put it in for me, sang a Whitney song, and I didn't even sing the entire thing. It was just. She's such a massive musical presence for me that I cannot. I can't. The only national anthem I can really listen to and just really just get engulfed into is her version. No one has ever and will never sing the national anthem the way she sang the national anthem. Ever.
each day I live.
Say again.
I said each day I live.
Oh, that's one moment in time. Yeah. Don't look. I already know everything. Don't you can't stump me, Doctor B.
I'm not trying to
I'm
start.
a Whitney.
I'm gonna see if you were gonna continue it. I was gonna try to get you to
Uh-uh.
continue.
No, no. I
Stop.
also just sang that last night.
Huh?
I was just singing one moment in time last night.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. We listened to it yesterday too because we were traveling,
Yeah,
and that song came on.
that's
My
the
my
Olympics. You
daughter
should
loves.
launch it for the Olympics.
So my daughter again. I'm gonna say it. She's 9 years old, and she likes Heartbreak Hotel.
Ooh, ooh,
I know.
ooh.
I mean, she likes more than just that one, but that one, that's like she'll be like, "Can you put Heartbreak Hotel on?" And she'll be jamming. I mean, I'd be like looking like,
So
who,
funny story about Heartbreak Hotel. I'm pretty sure that's the one with Kelly Price and Mary J in it, I believe,
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
So they filmed that video down south, and I was trying so hard to find out where they were filmed. I was obsessed. It was not good because I'm from down there, and I was trying to find Opalaka Airport hangar, I believe, is where they filmed. See, look, you're I know somebody go listen to us and think, Andrea, what's
That's
all that?
listen. There's something about music,
Mm,
and when it's done right, I don't care if it's rock, if it's R&B, reggae, house music, even rap. I don't care what the music or genre is. If it's done right,
yeah,
it really can move your soul. So,
and it's timeless. It's
oh yeah,
timeless.
oh yeah,
So
most definitely. Well, I appreciate having you here today. Um, this hour has kind of flown by. I knew that it would because of just that bio. I mean, it took me about 40 minutes to read the bio.
Oh man, here we go. I appreciate you, Dr. B. Thank you very much
Appreciate
for
you,
having me.
and we'll have you back again. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have a karaoke hour.
I'm there. You tell
Yeah,
me
yeah.
when.
We'll do that.
You tell me when and where.
We'll have to set that up. I'm talking about the podcast, though.
That's fine. I'm good. That
All right,
works.
all right, all right. See, I know somebody got skills when they sit there and say, "Okay,
No, no, it's not like that. No,
yeah,
no, it's not like that. It's just I just enjoy it, and if
that's
people
good. That's all
happen
good.
to enjoy it too, then
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. As long as you got your phrasing and your breathing right, I'm good.
something like that. Something like that.
Key. So,
Oh man,
no, no, no. Thank you again, and I really appreciate it that you coming and you talk and you share your heart. It's doubly special because of the month that we're in, but I would have talked with you anytime. And I
absolutely.
do know that we are gearing this month towards Pride Month, but the truth of the matter is, I'm proud of you
Thank you, Dr.
and all
B.
the things that you've done, the things that you're planning on doing, um, and I'm actually excited to kind of hear you sing. And so
Uh-oh.
I keep going back to the karaoke.
No, I have to. It's hard not to. It's hard not
It's
to.
hard not to. There you
It's
go.
hard not to, Dr. B.
So thank you. Uh, we are on Wednesday here, and we got another show coming up on Friday. Please check us out. And until then, uh, have a great rest of the day.
Peace, love, and soul, right?
Peace, love, and peace, love, soul.
Ooh.
All right, so this Friday we're going to be talking about Juneteenth, and so it's our Juneteenth episode, and we're going to sneak a little Juneteenth into Pride Month, but we're proud of Juneteenth as well. So anyway, Andrea Snead.